Well, everybody, this is Catherine Toon. Welcome to Three Chord Live. I'm kind of excited because I'm out of Facebook jail, so I actually get to do some stuff. Oh, goodness. Freedom! Okay. And everyone said amen. So welcome to Three Chord Live. We do this once a week. And with our fabulous crew, we have Michelle Brown and Tammy Wilson on actually Tuesdays, Bill Thrasher on Mondays, me on Wednesdays, Kyle Butler on Thursdays, Derek Day on Fridays, and then we have Mike Zenker, who kind of floats and feeds in awesome stuff. So you won't want to miss all that. That is, wow, we have such a lineup. It's so great, and we're such a happy family, and we're glad that you joined. Today I'm going to be talking about reset. This was actually a word that actually the Lord had given me a while back, and I was just meditating on it, and then someone was ministering to me, hallelujah, right, and was ministering the same word, and it kind of brought all that back, and I felt like, wow, this is powerful. So there's a concept of reset. Well, what does that mean? Well, you know, in the place where things have been set and get out of whack, they return back to original design, original formulation, original mode of operations. You know, a lot of times with your technology, when you're having issues, you can't figure out what the heck it is. Well, a lot of times if you just shut her down and fire her back up, it'll automatically reset and be functioning. And there's something about being in the place where we're going back to, wow, where is this out of whack? This can happen relationally. Sometimes we need to reset our relationships, and resetting our relationships, what does that mean? Sometimes we need to pull apart, or sometimes we need to sit down and like hash through some stuff. To get things set aright. But you know what's interesting is when we get things set aright for when something's out of whack, what happens is we're upgraded actually to a better position than we were before. And so this is why intervals of rest are so crucial. Now, we're supposed to be operating from rest, but how many of you know we still get pooped? And so we need to pull aside sometimes. I'm about ready to take some time off where I'm just not doing, and I can reset, I can refocus, I can go back to a place where, wow, I'm settled, I've got a greater vision, I'm having time to just commune with the Lord and really get his perspective and get his vision for the year ahead, for the weeks ahead. Whatever that is, spending some time with family, resetting that, you know, spending time just laughing and enjoying. And, you know, life's not all work. It's not all doing. If it's all work, we got issues, right? We need to enjoy. Jesus came that we might have and enjoy. So that means sometimes we need to pull back. And this was actually a hard lesson for me because I can work. And, you know, I was kind of raised in a very performance mindset where I would be working all the time. And part of that was because I was operating under a lie that I was already behind. And so I had to do everything I could all the time to fall behind at a slower pace. And oh my goodness, just say no. You know, God, this really is a marathon race, but in that there are times you need to pace yourself. There are times you need to pull back and pull aside and sharpen some things, heal some things, get a new perspective, just rest and enjoy some things. And sometimes that means you need to vacate. Hey, Mike, how are you? You need to vacate and go somewhere that gets you out of your environment so you can there's things inside of you that can be experienced. You can rest. You can get out of the work mode and into a mode. Thank you. You distracted me. I was trying to read what you were saying. Just popping in to make you smile. Yes. You made me smile, Mike. It's always great to see you. So sometimes we need to pull aside and reset. We need to reset our focus. We need to learn, like, wow, there are new things to experience. Maybe you need to try, maybe your rest will consist of something that's actually a totally out of the box thing for you to do. One of the things that really helps Brian and myself is when we go on vacation, we scuba dive. We love to scuba dive. Now, there's something amazing about it because it completely takes you out of your element. How many of you know being under the water is not our element? So it takes us out of our element. So we're functioning in a completely different place, and we allow ourselves to experience wonder. The wonder of creation, the wonder of, like, wow, this is incredible, this whole new world. The wonder of, wow, my biggest issue right now is to control my breathing, right? And to, keep track of how much oxygen I have, and to look around and enjoy. And I do that with my diving buddy, Brian. And so we do that together, and it helps us reset. Why? It takes us completely out of our element. There are times when you need to reset in terms of relationships. When we have kids, how many of you know each age, each milestone is a reset? So when your children grow up, I hope you're not treating your teenagers like toddlers. Okay, you need to reset how you see them. I hope you're not treating your adult children like children, right? We need to reset. And sometimes in relationships, how many of you know that we're going from glory to glory to glory? So, the version of Catherine you see now, a year from now, will be upgraded. Why? Because I'm manifesting, I'm being unveiled from glory to glory. So if you're relating to me 5 versions back, well, number one, she was pretty jacked up, so this is going to be a thing, but I'm not that anymore, right? Because I really have upgraded. And so that means growing together in our relationships, and the ones that you really value, you will constantly reset because you're all growing and you're all changing. And that's why your inner circle is not the whole world. That's why the people you really invest with are people that are lifelong, or for long periods of our time, people that you really invest with, because that takes a lot of time and energy to really get to know one another, to really track with one another, and then change and track with one another while we're changing. Life is kind of a moving target. And then when you think about it, this is not intrinsically like just a limitation because we're human. Jesus had his inner circle of 3. Okay, and that was his inner circle. That didn't make him bad. That means these are the ones I'm going to invest the most. These are the ones that I'm going to reveal myself in the more intimate way. And then he had the 12, and then he had the 70, right? And then he had like the whole world. Okay, but your inner core, you're constantly resetting. Who are you? Who am I? How do we relate to one another? How are we growing? What are the challenges? What are we learning? How are we upgrading? And how can we upgrade together? This is why marriage is such a big deal, and why we struggle so much, because it really is a lifelong commitment, and you guys are changing. And the things that brought you together initially are probably not going to be the very things that will keep you together, other than loving one another. But I'm saying, how many of you know the heart flutter may not be a heart flutter for a lifetime, but I'm telling you that love just deepens and becomes something so rich that you engage, and you can complete one another's sentences and all that stuff. That's not stale. That is intimacy, right? And then you also realize that you're constantly discovering new things about your spouse. I found out something really interesting about my spouse the other day. I had no idea. I've been married with him for almost 25 years. And I had no clue about this. Why? Because I'm not assuming that I know everything about my spouse, okay? And plus, he's also growing, and so part of me, so it's important that I'm tracking with him as he's growing, and he's tracking with me as I'm growing, and that's how you grow together. And as you grow together, you become more intimate. You share that for a lifetime. Close friends, it's the same thing. But there are times too when we need to reset with the Lord. Why? He is our most intimate relationship, hopefully. Okay. And so resetting with him, it's not like he changes. Okay. I am the Lord, I change not, right? But Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, all of that. But our revelation of him, our understanding of him is growing. And then also we're growing. And so as God is unveiled to us, he unveils us to us. And so we're growing together. And that means there are times when we need to be intentional and really focus some more. This is not a religious thing. If it's a religious thing, don't do it. Okay. But if you're like, wow, I really kind of maybe gotten a little bored, maybe gotten a little lackadaisical, maybe gotten, whatever that is, I feel like he's distant. Well, he didn't distance himself from you. You probably just got distracted. And so there are times we need to pull apart to reset that relationship with the Lord. There are times, hi Aldo, so good to see you. There are times too when we need to reset within ourselves. I do a whole lot of coaching. I do wholeness coaching, I do prophetic coaching, I do conflict mediation, I do business coaching, and that helps reset. But you know what? I also am coached. Why? Because I realize there are things that I have blinders to. There are things that just me and Jesus is not gonna work. I need help sometimes. Sometimes we need to feed off of someone else's anointing and partake of that. And God made us to be interdependent. That's why we're there for one another. We're doing this thing together. So I don't do this with everybody, but there are a few close people that I will do that. I will receive counsel from, or I will actually receive some coaching and help me through, like, bam, I'm up against this. I know there's a way through, but I just need help me. And it helps me reset my focus, be reminded of who I am, be reminded of new unveiling of who I am, a new unveiling of who God is for me in different areas, and helping me track. And so we need to pull apart. And I think it's really important to be intentional, because sometimes, we just do, we go. And then we kind of collapse. And I really don't feel like we're supposed to go from doing and collapsing, doing, collapsing. We're supposed to be operating from rest and enjoying things. And then we're supposed to have more extended breaks where we can reset our perspective, where we can simplify things. It's interesting, when you go on vacation, life gets to be a whole lot more simple. Why? Because you're like, well, okay, well, where are we eating? Where are we sleeping? What are we doing for the day? Does everybody have what we need? Okay, great. Let's get some extra sleep, all that. And so life, and that's good, because it helps you unwind and it helps you recover and recoup and be able to come back and then embrace again the things that hopefully you love. Now, let me say this. It's not realistic to think that you're going to love everything about what God is calling you to do. But I'm saying, if you enjoy what you do and you would do it without being paid to do it, you're gonna put up with some of the crappy parts of it, which is just part of it. Because why? You love what you do. You're tracking. You're doing what you're called to do. But God will adjust things. And there's times that we need to pull back to receive whatever reset that he has for us. That's why it's helpful, on a regular basis. Maybe, New Year's is a good time to evaluate, not get depressed about, the things that you didn't do and whatever, but to evaluate, okay, this is where we're at. Where are we heading? What tweaks can I do? Or what one big adjustment? Don't take on too much, because you're setting yourself up for failure. But small adjustments on a consistent basis make a huge difference. And I think sometimes we get into this mode where we've got to see it happen. And that, God just doesn't work like that. God is very much a process God. And that's not that you're not all that in a bag of chips, that you're being sanctified. You already are sanctified. You're not You already are healed. You already are inner healed. You already are all that in the bag of chips, but we are being unveiled. And there's something about the discovery process as we are being unveiled, and we're doing it in the context of him and what he's unveiling and the things that he's teaching us and what we're learning, that we can go ahead and, experience God in a deeper way. So whatever the challenge is for you, what is God wanting to be for me at this time in my life? What is God wanting to be for me? And sometimes he's your healer, sometimes he's your teacher, and sometimes he's the keeper. He's like keeping you. Sometimes he's the one who keeps you steady. Sometimes he's your sanity. Sometimes, whatever he is, sometimes he's your lover. Sometimes he's your Father. What is he revealing about himself? What is he wanting you to be? Sometimes he's your wisdom, right? And so he's able to unveil himself, but unless we're slowing down, we're not going to be able to partake of that. So it's important that we have regular times where we can reset, refresh, and renew. And so that's pretty much all I have for you today. I have a lot going on, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But I hope that's encouraged you to pause and think, wow, what am I doing to reset? What have I got intentionally scheduled? How am I going to pull apart before I fall apart, right? Where am I going to do that so that I can reset, refresh, and renew? Awesome. So next Wednesday is Christmas. I won't be here. I'll be in my home, but I won't be here with you. So let me just wish you an amazing Christmas. I hope there's something really special and meaningful, and that if you're feeling lonely, you're able to enjoy his presence. And if you're not lonely, but you're just able to connect with God, I just feel like there's some really special things that we can glean and not stress out so much. It doesn't have to be the perfect Christmas or whatever, but it just has to be the celebration of Christ, who loved us and gave himself up for us, who couldn't hold himself back. So he had to come in the flesh to redeem all of us, to buy back, and help us see who the Father was, help us renew our minds to who he's always been, who we've always been, all of that. And it's a time where we can really connect with that and take time to do that. Anyway, I hope this has been a blessing for you today. Merry Christmas, everyone. Love you. Bye-bye.